So lag putting or long putting is so important for your score. Getting those long ones close makes all the difference in reducing your three putts down. Most three putts are not caused by missing the short ones. They're caused by the first one not getting up close enough and putting too much pressure on that length putt. Now, you are not going to hole every one of those. The pros don't either. So the key is to take the pressure off that second one and get the first one up close. And the other thing with long putting too is that it's distance control. So on your short putts, it's the line, you're trying to get it in, and on your long putts, it's the pace, you're just trying to get it close. Now obviously if it goes in, fantastic, it's a bonus, but you're not really trying to get that first one, you're trying to get it close so that the second putt is easy. Now most three putts are caused by being too long and too short, not so much by being too far left or too far to the right. So it's distance control is hugely important. So when you watch the pros putting, you'll see that 9 times out of 10 they get the ball up within tap-in distance. And I would say that it's the opposite statistic for the average golfer. 9 times out of 10 they don't. And they're giving themselves that pressure putt, which, you know, is really stressful. You want to take the stress out of your putting. And really with putting, there's not a huge amount of technique involved. You can be as good a putter as the pros because all they do is practice a lot, and it's practice, feel, a little bit of technique, experience, distance control. And so there's not a lot of technique in your putting stroke, and so getting the ball close consistently is a possibility and is going to shave so many shots off your score. So my number one tip for you for getting your long putts close is all about varying the length of your stroke according to the length of the putt. Now this is what I see an awful lot when I see average golfers putting, is using basically the same length stroke for all putts. And it could be a fear factor, it could be that you haven't got the confidence to really let that putter stroke, but it's all practice and you can get to that point where you're confident on the long ones and confident to give it a nice big stroke. So this is what I see a lot, short backswing on all putts. Now, as you get further and further away from the hole, what people then do, they keep that same length backswing, then they try and hit it really hard from there, and it is just not going to work at all. 9 times out of 10 you'll be short because your backswing's too short for the putt. And so if you tend to be short, this could be what you're doing. But then also you'll be long sometimes because you have to overcompensate. You probably get sick of seeing it being short, and so then you overcompensate from a short backswing, you really try and shove it, and then you go really long. So your ability to judge distance is really compromised with using that same short backswing for everything. It's okay on the short ones, but really you want to be adjusting the length of the backswing depending on how far you want to hit the ball, and that takes all the stress out, allows that nice smooth stroke, gives you much more consistency. So don't be afraid to let the putter swing, take it all the way back. On a long putt, you really will need quite a long length backswing. So this is going to take you some practice. You need to get out and do a little bit of work on it. And I'll show you a drill at the end that will be a fantastic one for you to use when you're trying to practice using the different length stroke for the different length putt. Now another trick that I used to use when I was on tour that I absolutely loved, and it was visualizing the ball sitting next to the hole before I putted. Now what that does, because your short ones are all about line and your long ones are all about pace, you're not trying to get the ball in on your long ones. So if you're visualizing trying to get the ball in, the distance control is sort of in the back of your mind, and you want the distance control in the front of your mind. So rather than visualizing the ball going in on the long ones, visualize it sitting next to the hole. Now what that does is it pre-programs your mind to see a successful putt before you've hit it. And what it also does is sends a message to your muscles as to what length swing you would need to take you there. It's like pre-programming mentally for the putt, and it works a treat. Give it a try. It works. It's something I used when I was on tour and I loved it, and it worked really well for me. So it's before you putt, seeing the ball already sitting there in your mind's eye, and it's almost like showing your body what to do to get it there, like a pre-rehearsal of a great putt. So let me show you my drill for adjusting the length of your stroke for each putt. So you can see what I've done here is I've put down 5 golf balls and pace them at 3 paces each away from the hole. Now what this does is gives you 5 different distances that we're going to practice, and we're going to practice using a different length stroke on each putt. So I'm going to start here at my first one. Now obviously this is not a very long putt, so we just need a nice short backswing to judge the distance here. If it goes in, great. If not, it doesn't matter. And then obviously as we get further away, we need a longer backswing and hence a longer through swing. Moving further away again, longer again. Always have a practice swing beforehand. Try and get a feel for the length of stroke you need. If I keep using my short length backswing, it's not going to get me there. So I really need to be increasing the length of the backswing each time I putt. And then back to our final one here. This is where you need your longest backswing. Get you all the way down there. Nice and smooth. This way you take all the pressure off. You let the ball roll. Right, thanks. Did you get all those?
Yeah.
Benj, can you help me for 2 minutes?
Okay. So what do you want me to do, please?